And just like that, we back like we left something. What up, y'all? Sunday night. Welcome to the illustrious Drop Squad live show. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Once again, as my co-host and I often say, once again, baby, it's what?
It's on.
It's on. Woo! Bam, bam.
Who is that on your shirt? Could make that out. Who is that on your shirt? Machiavelli. Oh, okay. I just saw
Machiavelli the Dawn.
Yeah.
You know what? We got to talk about him tonight.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
Sister Dawn, since you brought it up, we got to talk about it tonight. You gonna bring up the topic and we gonna chime in, sis.
Yeah, see it real good, at least.
Yeah, we see it.
We see it.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna go with that clip she just pulled up first on Roseanne. Now, since you put me on the spot, I didn't watch the whole thing, but go ahead and push play on that.
Hold on, sister, 1 second. Let's do the introductions.
Yeah, gotta do
the I am YAHCHIDAH L.
Yes, yeah.
Co-host of the illustrious show, as my sister said. This is the Drop Squad. Also with us is Sister Dawn. Tonight, she is taking a leadership role in hosting with us as well. And last but not least on the panel, we have the Grand Sheik. I have to throw Grand Sheik in there now.
Yes, indeed.
Mr. David, the Honorable Mr. David Paige-Bey.
Woo!
And ladies and gentlemen, this is the Drop Squad.
Yes.
With that being said, we're going to pass the mic and everything to Sister Dawn so she can go ahead and lead us off tonight. Go ahead, sis.
Okay, see.
The dog will come in there barking because of that. No, I'm joking.
She over here having a hump sesh with her, whatever. Never mind. I ain't gonna put her business out like that.
So I told y'all I just been lately. I go with the flow. Whatever the spirit tell me to do, then that's what I'm doing. And so I've been more finding myself checking out of a lot of stuff that's going on. Like I find myself, I'm not spending as much time online. I'm not, engaging with people. Y'all can see I ain't posted nothing in days on Instagram.
Same.
So, when I do see stuff, I have a little bit to say, but I had just been really focused on more inwardly. And, and actually this new guy I started following on Facebook, and he's a real positive brother. And I like his energy. His name is Marvelous Marlon. I think that's his name. And he, I just like his energy, and with such a dichotomy to like other people who are putting out stuff, like these YouTubers, and everybody's got a message for everybody. And he made this comment about being careful of the people that you following, because a lot of people, they putting out this information and they might know a little something about this or that, right. But a lot of people faking the funk.
Yes.
Yes. And they putting out some misinformation, and you can after you follow them for a while, you start to tell. Mm-hmm. And for me, I just go with what resonates. If I hear something that makes sense, because even the most ignorant person is going to say something that makes sense every now and then. But it was interesting that he said that, because I had a situation come up with on YouTube who has a huge following, a huge platform, but I kept thinking, this person is so negative. Like, they just so nasty with a lot of the stuff. Like, on 1 minute this person will be like, I'm getting these downloads, these transmissions from these higher level beings, and it does sound like he knows his stuff, but then he'll switch up on you and he'll be calling women bitches and hoes and they this, that, and the other. And I started, because after I'm around somebody or listen to somebody long enough, I started picking up stuff, and I was like, there's something very demonic about this person that just pops up every now and then. It just kind of, you just hear it. And I realized when Marvin made that post, it doesn't matter who can get it. It's like, there is this frequency. There are these transmissions. It's just like tuning into a TV station. Anybody can tune in and say, this is the transmission. This is what we're getting from the Most High, right? You just delivering the message. But that don't mean that the person is actually integrating that information into their lower self, into their life. You could stick, because this person sounds so abusive. And he had made some comments about people who had kind of come into his camp and left. And he was, just spending an awful lot of time of his podcast talking about these people, talking negatively about these people. And he was like, yeah, they try to say I'm a narcissist. And I was like, that's because you are. Like, I just started to realize that sometimes people act, when they talking about other people, they really be telling you about themselves.
Bingo.
Every time.
Just going like, and then he made this come on. I won't give too many specific details about this person, but it was just interesting that Marvin had put this out, and I could sense the difference between their energy and how they were delivering their messages on their particular platforms. And this other person who is just even when he has he talks about everything from, our beings as carbon-based people, and like, he knows the history, he knows all this stuff, right? Which makes it very interesting to listen to, and talk about Mars and the moon, the purpose of the moon, and all this stuff. But then you slide in there all these women, these Black women, they bitches and hoes, and they want to sleep with this. And I'm like, why are you even focused on that? Let them be where they're gonna be. Everybody's on their own journey. So why do we have to disrespect?
Right.
Even though we don't agree with that, and even though we don't live that way, they're gonna be where they're gonna be. It kind of goes back to where I was saying before, like, I'm like, I'm not trying to wake nobody else up right now. I'm just trying to connect with people who are on the frequency. And those who wake up gradually, they're gonna find us, because it was work for us to find each other. So they're gonna have to do their own work in order to get to where we are. We can't just give it to them, because everybody don't want it. And then some people only want to wake up to a certain degree. Like, they ain't prepared, just like this person. They're not prepared to do the work, because it's work. Case in point, this person, we give you a little bit more of a specific example of this person. My spirit was saying this person is actually very abusive. And I was like, like, was saying this person is abusive, this person attacks people. And I'm like, how? He don't really sound like. Well, I'm listening to a podcast, and he goes into his family background, and he starts talking about how his grandfather used to beat on his grandmother, and how his father used to beat on his mother. And he was like, but I don't do that. I would never lay my hands on a woman. But see, the thing is, you talk like that, and you can be mentally abusive, and you can be verbally abusive, just as abusive. And if you have that spirit on you, you can't really control whether or not you will become physically abusive.
Right.
Really, because even though this person has podcasts and talks all the time about demonic possession and how a lot of Black people are actually demonically possessed, which I do agree with, he don't see that he's possessed.
We all have our demons. That's part of being human.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
And it's about you getting your mind right to say, I don't have to I can choose whether or not I become these type of entities can attach themselves to me and take over.
Right.
You still have, you can consciously, you can make that decision. And that's really what it's about.
Mm-hmm.
But a
Mhm.
lot of people ain't willing to make that choice.
Right.
Or they'll think that they could do it in one area of their life, but not do it in another area. And I'm sorry to tell you, raising up or rising up to the next dimension was going to require you to never allow that yourself to be possessed.
Oh,
In any factor, whether you on the job, whether you dealing with your significant other, your kids, or white people.
mm-hmm.
That might be my problem. Wait a minute, let me think about that. I just kidding. But
Well,
anyway,
allow me to say one thing, sis.
go ahead.
What you just said is understated like a motherfucker. That is, you know, what you just said is the work.
Mm-hmm.
Is the work. And as subtle as it is, I don't think we give it enough a thought about how profound that is. When you say doing the work, as far as checking ourselves every day to make sure that, number one, we in agreement with nature, from our behavior, from our thought patterns, etc., all the way down to, you know what I'm saying, checking our day-to-day interactions, like you said, with white people, with family, with the unconscious, quote unquote, or, you know, the super woke people.
Right.
You know what I'm
These
saying?
super woke people, boy, I'm telling you some stuff.
It be
like,
so like what you just said, sister, is understated. Like, I can't stress it enough. What you just said, how paramount it is for us to ascend. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to put that out there to give you, you know, a little bit, give what you just said a little bit more credence.
There you go. Thank you.
Because that has to be reiterated every time.
Yes.
Because we'll fuck around, excuse my language, we'll fuck around and forget. As human beings, we'll get caught up in light bills or who's sleeping with who on the job, or not saying anybody on this panel, but you know, us on a day-to-day basis, we'll get caught up into this matrix and we'll lose sight of the work. So I digress. I'll pass it back to you, sis.
No, thank you. Yeah, exactly. Because it's you're right. You're absolutely right. It can slide in there on you, and it's almost like you are having to rewire your brain. And there are going to be certain pathways that you make, just every time you come up on that, you say, well, I'll get to that next time, or I'll deal with that a little different next time, or they shouldn't have done this. See, if they hadn't have done this, I wouldn't have acted this way.
Right.
So that's how you end up continuing to attract those type of situations and never learning how to go about it differently. Because you keep blaming other people, and you know, I'm not gonna get into the whole thing, a law of attraction and all that, but
get them if you need to.
You can tiptoe into it a little bit now. It all relates.
That's why I'm turned to the side for a reason. I got my
but
ear.
it's those areas where you just, in this person, case in point, he will not, that's, I mean, if you had to have the worst type of, what's the word, like personality disorder, whatever, to have, I would think it would be being a narcissist, because the whole thing around that is no one could tell you anything. You already think you superior to everybody and everything around you. So when you do get feedback from people that say, well, you know what, that hurt my feelings, or that, you know, they leave you or whatever happens because of your actions, you just automatically blame them. So you never get it. You just stay in this lower dimensional self. You never realize how you could shift and adjust your behavior, which is interesting because I kept hearing Bobby Hemmett make this comment about the divine feminine. He said, you men, you all into this patriarchal system and you want to uphold this, you gonna fall like maggots. I remember him saying that because you got to integrate the divine. It's gonna be about the divine feminine. But I really understand that. I really didn't understand that until I started really noticing this person.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, now I get it, because this person, he's all about being an alpha male, but he's still very, very like the man, whatever the man say, and you women need to be submissive, and that's all good. No, hey, what woman don't like a man that's gonna be a man and stand up and protect his family and all that? But there are things that men won't be able to see that a woman will see. She will understand, she will notice, she might see certain details. He might see details where she see the big picture, or she see the big picture where he see the details. It's about bringing and integrating those two halves of ourselves together.
Right.
But we sitting here still trying to hold on to this system that says the man is he gets the last word. Well, how about you just be with somebody who's on that same frequency where it's not a competition or have to rule over you or, any of that stuff, and then make it into a battle of sexes.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think now I get what Bobby was saying. Y'all gonna fall like maggots if you insist on continuing to be that way, because as we move, as they talk about moving into the next dimension, you will have to incorporate that ability to see more subtle energies around you, or feel more subtle energies around you, and not just be so heavy-handed all the time.
Exactly.
Again, understated. My God, like, whoa.
David, you look bored. Are you bored with what I have to say?
Let's digest that for a second. He just hit us with some profound game.
No, I'm not bored at all. I'm listening. There's great information.
I was gonna say, you got something to say, brother? Go ahead.
I had it muted, but when you were just saying about like sex and it's not a battle. It shouldn't be a battle between the man and the woman. It should be a balance. And but a lot of times we use that sex as a weapon. Control the man and all this stuff, or the man trying to control the woman. No, so it's great points. I'm checking it out. I'm listening. So it's good points. And then also when you said about the children, like kind of like not allowing yourself to get caught up, even when it comes to your family and your children and or work and all that stuff. Certain things that can get you caught up in that hypnotic rhythm of life or whatever. You still have to focus on learning about, focus on yourself.
Learning about yourself.
Learning, keep building yourself.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing, really, is yourself first, you know what I'm saying? Because if you're not being that example, how can your children, listen to you or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Or your children may even go total astray, not even care nothing about what you're saying, and make you think you don't know what you're talking about, so it's all about focusing on yourself. But go ahead. I'm listening.
I'm glad you brought that up, because that's again where that takes me back to another Bobby Hemmett quote, when he later in his lectures, after he talked about all the stuff he talked about, the history and all that, you'll begin to see him say things like, don't be worried about what they gonna do. There really ain't much that they can do. All of this stuff that they're trying to put out there is just a distraction. And if you get too caught up in what they're going to do or what they might do or what they're trying to do, then you won't be doing the inner work. And coming up here on this 20, as we rounding out the end of this year, that's becoming so profound, profound to me, how like you hear somebody say it, but then I don't know, it might just be me. I'm really feeling the intensity of that, and the need and the urgency to do that work, to like, I got to shut out all this stuff that's going, what they're gonna do with the coronavirus. They're gonna make you take vaccine. They're gonna, it's just like you really got to be going in and doing this work, which I do every day, all day, which I'm so grateful. And it's shared by my, like, I just wake up in gratitude every day that despite all this other shit going on, money still flowing in. I still got my house. I still got my, and I have the freedom to just tune the fuck out when I want to.
Right.
Indeed. Indeed.
Yeah.
And that to me is actual what real wealth is.
Right.
I'm also learning to redefine that. Like, that's real wealth when you don't have to be fucking bothered.
Alchemy.
Tell them.
Alchemy.
Don't tell it on the mountain.
Sister practicing mental alchemy.
Is that what it is? Is that what you call it?
Mental alchemy, yes. You taking something that is benign, right?
Ooh,
in our
mental
society, such as, the small things that make us happy, right? They say the best things in life are for what? Free, right? So joy, contentment, things of that nature, right? You rearrange the whole paradigm. So instead of slaving for that picket fence, the two Mercedes in the driveway and the big ass house, you're content with what you have, and you find that your center, your peace, and knowing that, you know what, I don't have to have the biggest this, or I don't have to have that. You know what they say I need to have in society in order to be or appear successful.
Right.
What you have is what you have, and you're content with that.
And that feels powerful.
Yeah, and if you're not, you have the power to change it.
Yeah.
Right?
As you see fit. You know what I'm saying? Not what they dictate, as you see fit. So if you want to paint your house another color, then by all means. You want to paint your room another color, you have the means to. But that doesn't negate or necessitate, what you have internally. What you have internally, you switched on the light switch, and you see the reality beyond the reality, which is you have enough to survive. You have enough to thrive and flourish in this matrix. You know what I'm saying? You might not have the luxuries that these other elite people have, but you have running water, you have lights, you have food. You know what I'm saying? You can get up and go as you come in and go as you please. With amongst other things, you know what I'm saying? So, and like all of that to say this, at the end of the day, you can't buy that peace. You cannot buy that peace. That's something that's within. You have to cultivate that. So like the sister saying, again, very much understated. A lot of the concepts that she's saying for the listeners who are coming up into their journey, just getting into their journey, she has hit y'all with a lot of profound spiritual truths. You know what I'm saying? Being content with where you at in life. Meaning, you understand? Understanding where you're at with the journey, and embracing that part of the journey. You understand? Because it is a journey. It's a marathon, as the brother said. The marathon continues. Nipsey. You know what I'm saying? It's not getting to the destination. It's appreciating, the bumps and the bruises, the wins, the losses, all of that within the journey. That spirit that cultivates the strength of the spirit.
Yeah.
You understand? We're going through this matrix. We're going through this burning hell to once again rise like the phoenix out of the ashes. You understand? So when that phoenix is going, or like that butterfly, when it goes into that cocoon, into that dead-like state, which we're in right here in this society, it's a society based upon death. Everything that they push upon you is for your detriment. too much alcohol, too much sex, too much food, too much this, too much that. It kills that drive to motivate and cultivate the spirit. That like the sister was saying, the inner workings. You know what I'm saying? The occult stuff, the deeper hidden stuff that they don't want you to tap into. The dark side, as the brothers affectionately say it. You know what I'm saying? That's nothing but the subconscious mind. Reprogramming the subconscious mind.
There you are.
And when you reprogram the subconscious mind, the things around you don't change. It's you that change. Your perception of it changes. So the world is still going to be the world. It's just that you're looking at the world from another lens, from another perspective, from another wavelength. Think of it, and I'm going to make this example, and I'm going to pass it on. Think of it as you watching a television set, right? And then, you know how those smart TVs have that other little box where you can watch 2 programs at one time?
Right.
You're seeing the bigger picture on a whole nother channel, right? You're on a whole nother station, a whole nother channel. But then in that small box is the mundane world that you still keeping an eye on, but you're not really focused. You see it there, but you're focused on the program or the wavelength that you're on that big screen. That little small box is there, but you don't really pay attention. If I can make a comparison so that everybody can kind of relate to, it will be that. 2 screens in one, you focus on the bigger picture, and in the smaller picture, you keeping an eye on it, but you're not necessarily letting that dictate what you have going on when you're focused on that specific channel or wavelength or whatever word you want to use.
So YAHCHIDAH, what is your take on the new earth?
The new earth? I'm not familiar with the new earth in the respect. What do you mean by the new earth?
Well, you hear that's a term that's floating around. That's where the whole planet is going after this, you know.
Oh, you mean
solar flashes come and say it again.
You mean like after the Christ consciousness takes hold and we ascend?
Yes.
Shit. Hopefully by then, I'll probably check out this motherfucker.
Really?
Fuck yeah.
So do you think it's going to be something years from now, or how do you think this will? Right.
It's going on right now. Being the fact that we are consciously talking about it means that it's already happening, because we cannot fathom or conceptually think about something if it didn't exist or if it's not happening now. So that phenomenon is happening in the past, right? And it's happening right now because we feel it.
Right.
We've talked about it on many different shows. We feel that energy. Why do you think David is here? Why do you think Wilhelmina is here? Why do you think you're here and I'm here? We're just here expressing that feeling that we all know, but we're talking about different topics and things of that nature. However, we're all bound by that sensation that we cannot describe 100% fully in words, in human words. But we know we have a vibe amongst us that just brings us together. You know what I mean?
My understanding, and I guess it might just be wishful thinking, is that we are the ones who are supposed to be here to usher that in. Because we were supposed to be the ones ruling the planet. And so it's coming back to a time where we're going to be regaining these gifts that we had and our ability to do just that. Is that your take on it, or do you have?
That's exactly what it is. However, for me personally, I want to check out this motherfucker.
You don't want to see it after you done been through all the bullshit?
Do you know what happens before that?
Oh, the
You have to
rapture and all that stuff.
Yeah, no, there's no fucking rapture.
It's not in,
That's some
But what
bullshit.
happens?
it's not in the Bible.
That's-
The rapture is not in the Bible.
Bible. That's some bullshit. That's some shit that they put in the church to try to get you to be saved and all that other shit.
Right.
Devote your life back to white Jesus. You know what I'm saying?
But go on, finish what you were saying.
But to keep it short and brief, sis, there's a lot of turmoil that happens before we get to that, we transition. There's a lot of fighting, and there's a lot of people that are not going to want to acquiesce to that point. You know what I'm saying? So there's going to be a lot of internal strife, as well as physical, like, decay. The society's going to have to decay before it happens. So my shit is, I don't want to see society decay. I'm gonna act a goddamn brand new fool. I know me. I don't want to see that shit. So I said, I pray that, you know what I'm saying, the energies, the Most High, whatever, grant me that wish. I don't want to see it.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Well,
if I check out this motherfucker and be with my ancestors, I'll see y'all on the other side. Maybe not physically. But
I want to add on to that.
Hold on, let me say this. When I say this, I'm not suicidal or anything like that. I just understand the mystery. I don't, when this goes, I live on.
Right.
The real me lives on. You understand? The being that's within this cloak, this flesh, this space suit, earth suit, whatever you call it, that's going to, my higher self is going to transcend.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be I don't want to go through that shit. I don't think no human being wants to go through that transition. It's a hard and nasty process. If I have to, I'm built for it. But personally, I don't want to. Now, if I have to, then you know what? I got to soldier and thug it out, like we say on the streets.
But see, my thinking is, and I've been actually practicing this in my daily walk, is that this concept of just creating your reality. So if I could create my reality, there's certain things I just don't even have to deal with, or I make adjustments to, you know, just like certain things, like if I got to get in this LA, y'all know how traffic is in LA. If I got to get across town in 20 minutes, I just move traffic out the way. And it moves out the way.
You like that with it.
If I know it's just going to be terrible parking when I get there, I just say, okay, parking going to be right there. And I'm going to see it when I pull up. And the parking is right there.
Yeah.
Manifestation.
That's how I see it too.
I ain't gonna tell y'all all my business, but I'm gonna put it out like this. I walk in the store and walk right out that motherfucker with everything I need. Nah, just saying. Just things be easy. Like I just be like learning how to move different than other people. Isn't that part of the like?
That's what being Moorish is about, being a navigator. You know what I'm saying? Not just navigating the seas, but you know, navigating the land and all this other stuff, traveling and not allowing like you might hear on the radio or something. It's gonna be a traffic jam here or something, blah blah blah, whatever. And then you know, but if you thinking differently, you're gonna avoid all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna avoid the traffic jams, everything gonna go, you're gonna navigate smooth. Everything gonna be smooth. You know, to where somebody else might get caught up in it, you're not gonna get caught up in it, you know what I'm saying, because of the way you're thinking, like you said, in the law of attraction and attracting.
Yeah. And I just feel like that's actually what we're supposed to be doing right now. We're supposed to be practicing that. You be actually practicing. And I feel like I've been doing that for the last 3 or 4 years.
Oh yeah. But see, here's the thing, sister. For me,
break it down.
When is enough enough? I'm just saying enough in the general sense, as far as doing all of this manifestation.
Having to do that.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one thing we manifest, we manifest. Hold on. Hold the fuck up. Hold the fuck up.
Thinking it shall appear.
I'm gonna shut the fuck up. I'm gonna give the introduction. This is a brother here who we've missed for ages.
A month.
Brother,
Damn near.
my brother, the patriarch of this here, the honorable, venerable, illustrious, and I've run out of goddamn adjectives to describe this motherfucker.
Good enough.
Oliver Jackson Bey, welcome to the show once again. The patriarch of the show. Good having you, brother.
Thank you, brother YAHCHIDAH. Thank you.
Sorry about that. Shit. Sorry about that.
Today, brother, to keep you up to speed, Dawn is actually
No, I'm not.
Tonight. Her spirit spoke out to me earlier.
Okay.
And said, give her the reins and let her go.
Woo woo! Welcome.
She has a treat for us tonight. She don't know
Do
it.
it. I really don't. What is this treat?
It's gonna manifest.
Getting you the,
You talking about manifesting, right?
getting you to am I talking about manifesting? I'm just talking about how I'm trying to move.
The law of attraction.
Was it also
Manifesting stuff.
the Roseanne video as well?
Oh.
And before we get into that, what you were just saying about the new earth. Hold on. I think you were saying the new earth or whatever. We're talking about the new earth or whatever.
Mhm.
What I'm reading off of the internet or whatever, saying the cosmic and spiritual significance of December 21st, 2020. It says there's so much to unpack about this ultra magical date. I'm sure as we move closer to the time, he said he's writing this on October 6, 2020, that I will have more insight that come through. Let's first talk about what is almost always true for December 21st of any year. It is the solstice. The solstice is a time where the veil between dimensions is thin. It is also a time where we are more open and connected with the energies of the earth. We are able to feel with greater ease that we are not just beings on this earth, but beings of the earth. The solstice is also the start of the new season, depending on where in the world you live. And a new season always brings a transition of energy. Saturnalia was a pagan festival celebrated on December solstice and was meant to be reminiscent of the golden age, a time where there was peace on earth and Saturn was our sun. The December solstice was chosen for this day as it was said to signify a return to the light. And it says in 2020, December 21st stands out as being a potent day, not just because of the solstice, but also due to a very rare alignment taking place this year known as the Great Conjunction. Furthermore, there is also a total solar eclipse just before this on December 14th, which also adds to the energy. The solar eclipse opens a portal to a brand new beginning, and the Great Conjunction a few days later will amplify this portal energy. The opening of this portal will allow streams of high frequency energies to reach the planet. In channeled messages, he said, I have received, Earth also finishes a transformation on this date that also allows a new Earth to be birthed. Nothing around us is changing. The planet will still look the same, but there will be a new higher frequencies on offer. There will be new higher frequencies on offer that will help us reach new heights and ways of living. He's saying, I will share more of this on these channel messages through the article, but let's first take a look at a major cosmic event of this great day, the Great Conjunction, and what it may bring. They say the Great Conjunction 2020, the Great Conjunction occurs every 20 years or so, and is when both Jupiter and Saturn align at the same degree of the zodiac. The Great Conjunction represents a changing of an era and a time where we shall shift our way of viewing the world. As our worldview changes, so too does society and the way we choose to approach things. While the Great Conjunction happens every couple of decades, the 2020 alignment opens the door for an even bigger cycle. For the last 200 years, Jupiter and Saturn have been aligning only in Earth signs. But this year, on December 21st, 2020, Jupiter and Saturn will align in the air sign of Aquarius. The Great Conjunction happening in the air sign for the first time in 200 years represents an even bigger shift in our worldview and the era we are about to embark upon. Jupiter and Saturn will also be aligning at 0 degrees of Aquarius, which is an extra significant degree of the zodiac. 0 represents infinite potential and holds the energy of limitless possibilities. The Great Conjunction happening in Aquarius also further propels us into the energy of the age of Aquarius. I can read some more if y'all want me to go, but I'll just stop it right there. But it said, it's just up to y'all,
Music to my ears.
Okay, it says the Great Conjunction and the age of Aquarius. There is a lot of debate about when the age of Aquarius begins or whether we are already in the age of Aquarius. I believe we are at the transition point where we are moving out of the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius. The Great Conjunction is a key point on this transition into the age of Aquarius and is destined to bring many age of Aquarius themes into our lives. Under this grand conjunction, we could see a shift into more community-based living rather than looking to big governments or big business for support. We could instead turn to smaller community-run organizations, small businesses. There could be a greater focus on this idea that we will all thrive when the collective thrives, rather than a focus on individuals trying to compete with one another to get to the top. Kind of like what you were saying, Don, about man and woman competing and all this other stuff, in a sense. The Great Conjunction happening in Earth signs these last 200 years has pushed our focus towards ambition, big government, and big business. It has made us focus on material wealth and possessions and creating and building tangible things for the future. Like you were saying, Brother Cheetah, dealing with, like wealth and all that stuff, chasing the bag. The Great Conjunction now switching to air signs will give us a focus towards the collective and a more community-based approach. Humanitarianism efforts will be important and technology will be favored. We will see more things created online than in the physical world. On an even deeper level, the Great Conjunction of 2020 could allow us to see we are truly all connected. It will start to open our minds to higher levels of consciousness that understand that there is no separation between us. The Great Conjunction in Aquarius can bring ideas of more community-based living where we are all seen as equals and where there is focus on everyone thriving rather than just a few individuals. While it is all beautiful energy, we can help us, while this is all beautiful energy and can help us to create a new world, we also have to be mindful of losing our sense of individuality. Like you were saying, Don, losing our own thoughts and beliefs in favor of what the masses think and becoming more connected and overly reliant on technology. The path we choose to take is the path we choose to focus on, which brings me to the incredible psychic energies that are also present on this day. Spiritual significance of December 21st, 2020. All of the cosmic energy this year has been leading us to the closing of a massive karmic cycle for the planet. As this portal on the total solar eclipse opens and intensifies under the Great Conjunction, we will all be able to step into a new earth. He said, I have received channeled messages on this, which were shown to me as a drawing. The drawing I was shown was all Earth being forced through this tunnel of spirals. As it moves through this tunnel, it is pressurized so much that it is forced to split into two, and it leaves the tunnel, almost like a cell dividing. These two cells are of the same Earth, but they will represent two new energy dynamics that we get to work with on this planet that were not previously available to us before. One of these cells represents falling back further into the old karmic patterns, almost like we are not progressing or moving forward as we keep repeating the same loop. If we keep moving on this path, eventually we will go beyond the past we know and into a deeper darkness. The other cell represents moving forward to new ways never seen before. We move into stretching our abilities as human beings and being able to create things that are not even currently perceivable by our minds. If we keep moving on this path, eventually we stretch ourselves to new and higher levels of consciousness. The choice of which cell we wish to follow is our own, and for most people, we may find ourselves balancing between both. Essentially, the frequency of the planet is expanding. We are able to tap into higher frequencies than before, but also lower frequencies than before too. The frequencies that we are familiar with before this split happens will also become easier to maintain and to access. This means that all of the higher frequency energies we have connected with in the past will be easier for us to operate from. Many other psychics and intuitives have picked up similar messages about December 21st. Many talk about being a time split where there will be this further divide out of 3D living into 5D living. This holds true for what I have seen too. However, 5D has always been on offer, I guess, and offer to us. I just feel it's going to become easy to get there and easy to stay there. For those living in 5D, new frequencies and light codes will be attainable, and this is what is exciting. Who knows what new abilities and spiritual wisdom and knowledge will be making its way to Earth. For those living in 3D, life will keep following on the same trajectory. However, depending on where the frequency is positioned, they may be able to sense either this growing light or a deepening of the dark. It says how to prepare for December 21st, 2020. As we get closer to this date, it is going to become important to keep your vibration lifted. The higher the frequency of the planet at the time of the split, the higher the range of the new frequencies will be unlocked for us. Also raise the frequency of
YAHCHIDAH, what happens if you check out too soon? I'm messing with you.
Oh, you didn't understand the context of what I was saying.
Are y'all there? Hello?
I'm here.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. Can y'all hear me?
Hold
Yeah,
on.
you were frozen for a second, Dawood, but we hear you now.
Okay, my bad. Oh, my screen.
May I throw some?
Yeah, we got an idea. We already know that's the deep state doing that. We know that. So.
Got you.
May I throw a word out there?
Go ahead.
Beetlejuice.
Beetlegeese.
That part, but I want to Beetlejuice. You know that light is coming toward us, right? In Malachi 4?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Beetlejuice was in black and white, right? Stripe, right?
Yeah.
It's on the checkerboard, right? Okay, see how they're trying to trap that light, right? And keep our eyes in darkness, right? Check?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Remember, when them cells, it's two things. The cells is basically the alchemical change within our bodies to where that we ascend. Then you have that they describe that as five dimension, fifth dimension. Third dimension is what we are on right now, right? There's some people that's already on the fifth dimension. I'll say all of us on this show, we've been talking the fifth dimension for the longest. So pat yourselves on the back. Y'all already on fifth dimensional thinking. You know what I'm saying? Because here it is. We're talking about conceptually talking about things and understanding these things in real time. So that means that for you to even process this shit, you have to be on that wavelength. Copy?
Copy.
Copy.
An ant can't make a eagle understand its perspective. I'll repeat that again. An ant cannot make an eagle see its perspective.
Facts.
And vice versa. An eagle cannot make an ant see its perspective. Which one is higher? The eagle.
The eagle.
Y'all understand? So we talking an eagle, quote unquote. Other folks are still dealing in ant talk. That's the best way I could describe spiritual shit with human, mundane, everyday things that we have around us.
Right.
This is how the natives communicated deep, profound shit when they talk about, oh, he is jaguar paw, and he is, such as big bear, such and such.
Right.
They use nature to describe the undescribable, which is what we know as God, the Most High. The Egyptians did the same thing. They took a jackal, they took ibis bird, which represents Tahuti, a jackal, which represents Anpu or Anubis in Greek. They did the same thing. They took different animals and different phenomena in nature to describe, the undescribable, which is God. Again, so for you to even understand that conceptually, you have to be on another wavelength. This is a fact. This is a fact. Because how can, for example, how can you explain algebra to a 3-year-old?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But then when that 3-year-old, if it already has innate genius, it'll understand conceptually algebra. It may not be able to physically do the processes of, breaking down the equation, but it can conceptually understand algebra, if that makes sense.
It does.
It makes
So all that what David was saying, and to throw that Beetlegeese in there, that's that light we was talking about a past few episodes ago. That's that light. That's that healing light.
Yep.
Yeah, and how
That light coming with healing in its rays. This is what they're trying to stop us from seeing the heavens with all these damn artificial clouds and having us dumbed down with fucking the water and all this other bullshit.
And
Chemtrails trying to block out the sun, block out
Trying to
rock.
block the sun.
And the
Having
monolith.
us doped up, drunk as fuck, so that we don't see what's going on around us.
The monolith hoax.
Yeah, but like what Robbie Hemmett was saying is, don't worry about that shit.
Right.
What's to come is gonna surpass all of that.
Yeah.
Nothing can stop what's coming.
Or as Bobby Hemmett would say, his favorite quote, "This shit is over."
It's over.
This shit is over.
Over.
That's what I'm saying. I'm ready to transition. There's nothing in this physical earth that can make me want to stay, not even my children.
I understand that.
You understand? And you have to understand that from a deep spiritual. You don't understand that?
No, I said I understand it. No, I
All of this
understand.
is an
I
illusion,
understand.
my brother.
That's deep.
Oh, yeah.
Deep.
You can't listen.
Not even your
They're here
children.
already. Not even my children. They're here already.
Right.
Yep.
You understand? What's for them is going to be for them, regardless if I'm here or not. Now, there's some people that can be like, "Oh, you're a bad parent for saying that shit." Man, please. We've been having single mothers on this realm for how long? 20 plus years?
Yep.
What's that gonna stop?
Right.
Nothing.
Damn thing.
Not a damn
Nothing.
thing.
So guess what? At the end of the day, we can't be about save the rainforest and all this other dumb shit, because this shit right here, this matrix is gonna shift. It's gonna shift. And when it does shift, are you ready for the shift? Are you gonna be concerned with the mundane, or are you gonna be concerned with higher things?
Mm-hmm.
It's simple. It's simple. All these, I'll say this real quick. All these celestial phenomenons is happening. And if you're not tapped in, for those that's not tapped in, they're gonna have a rude awakening. They're gonna have a rude awakening.
Yep.
So regardless of whether you're ready for it or not, it's coming.
Mm-hmm.
So my shit is, hey man, live your life. Live your life.
Exactly.
No regrets. Like what Sister Dawn was saying, wake up in the morning, manifest, have no regrets.
Mm-hmm.
Life is but a dream. We could change this motherfucker if we want to.
But
We
do
just
you really
sleep.
want-
We still sleeping. And in that sleep, we got somebody in our ear telling us to dream negatively. Picture you sleeping and you have a Caucasian in your ear telling you nightmares, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. So your brain is processing that dumbass shit and you manifesting it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is. But in daytime, the suggestion is real subtle.
Yep.
They put it on their idiot box. They put it on the TV. So when you're watching it, you're getting the same messages as if you're sleeping and somebody's whispering in your ear.
Careless whisper.
It's called subliminal programming.
Yep.
You gotta wake up from that shit.
That's the whole part of us, like I said, claiming our nationality and proclaiming who we are, getting back to ourselves and our divinity of who we are.
Yes.
So where, like you said, protecting ourselves from all that bullshit, like I said, from the Negro, the color, or whatever,
Right.
Like you said, David, like you said, and I'm gonna repeat it. They have to change some shit. They gotta take it from you and change it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
But the fundamental thing that they trying to take, they can't. They can't take your birthright.
Yeah.
They can't take your free national name.
Mm-hmm.
You have to give it to them.
Yeah.
You have to what's the word? Submit it over.
Mhm.
Relinquish it. There you go.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You have to relinquish that shit. They can't take it.
Acquiescence.
Mm-hmm.
There you
Right.
go.
I'm glad you said that too, David, because when we first started,
Yes.
Willa was talking about her hair. And I said, we've talked about this before, but I also believe that it might seem like almost like a trend that Moorish women are starting to wear their natural hair. But I do think this is part of us also reclaiming who we are. Like, I think the going back to your natural hair, it's whether we're conscious of it or not, or think that it's a trend, that's part of the process as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. One thing I'm gonna add to that too, sisters have to be very careful because the enemy knows that we're going into that phase of natural hair and everything like that. What they do is they'll throw an artificial religion along with it. You know what I mean? This new world religion that we are starting to see now. A lot of sisters are getting into paganism. A lot of sisters are getting into witchcraft, quote unquote. And we're talking about on the left-hand side rhetoric. And I'm starting to see a lot of sisters that I'm coming in contact with, you know what I'm saying? What's your zodiac? What's this and what's that? I'm like, what does it matter? And they're like, oh, they're trying to figure you out to manipulate you. They're using the zodiac shit to manipulate. Oh, you a Gemini. Okay, you this and that. Okay, let me appeal to this kind of sensibility to try to get you. And I've noticed that with a lot of the sisters, not all of the sisters that are doing the natural.
You
It's
think
just
so? Well, I've been natural since for years, almost 20
no,
years now,
not
so it's
you.
not even a. But you know what my observation of that is just they you're right, like they kind of trying to jump on whatever bandwagon that is because that's the going trend. Like it's just again they're just repeating stuff they heard. They don't even know how to use that shit. They're just saying what's your zodiac. They don't even know nothing about astrology, let
Right.
alone astronomy.
Right.
Just started learning and
Right.
paying attention.
And
to
I
this
just noticed,
shit.
you know, a lot of the, like, I make the distinction between being conscious and being woke. You know, conscious is one thing. Consciousness came, you know what I'm saying, was way, way back when. This woke shit is like this artificial Colin Kaepernick, you know, Black Lives Matter. That's being woke. I've noticed a lot of the sisters that are twisting up, they're piercing their nose and, you know, different parts of their face and stuff like that. I've noticed a good percentage, not all, a good percentage of them are studying and being tenants to this left-hand path bullshit. So we got to be vigilant as a people, because that's a program that they put out there for us to distract us as well. So we think we have gold, but really it's fool's gold. It's there to distract you. So a lot of those people that think they have, like they'll say, oh, the white man wrote the Bible and this and that. We got to get into this. We got to get into that. But then I'm sitting there like, damn, the prophets say don't throw the shit away. Why are we throwing it away? It's something in there it's something in there. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna end it here. There's something in there that we're supposed to get out of it. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, again, I've noticed this thing, like y'all can go and just, you know, in your interactions, or just watch people on social media. You'll start to see little tips and things, tip-offs and things in their pictures and stuff like that, that they're practicing this left-hand Luciferianism. You know what I'm saying? This Marxism. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny because our people are getting swept right up into it. I digress. I yield.
It's like they're trying to keep their foot in the door in a sense. It's like they're not sure if they want to go, you know, in or whatever. So it's like you said, that wokeness, instead of going full conscious, you know, being full consciousness, and you know, knowing thyself and understanding thyself. Is like, let me kind of, like, you know how you playing skill
double dutch.
Yeah, double dutch, and you ready to kind of jump in. It seems like that's how they doing. It's like they keep trying to time to see if they jump in, can they jump back out to the other, you know, the same side, instead of fully going in, you know, and jumping out and going to the other side to a higher level, you know. But it's like it seems like they like the breadcrumbs that they're receiving right now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they too scared to kind of go out on their own and venture out, you know, and become better in a sense, you know. But it like I said, it's like a trend to pretend to be conscious or whatever. It's kind of like, yeah, you know, I can kind of fool some people like this until I actually get to that level. You know, it's like either you are or you not. You know what I'm saying? And you have to be humble enough to know, okay, at this moment, I'm not as conscious as I would like to be, but let me kind of study myself in order to become that even more. But I yield as well. But go ahead. I don't know if that makes sense.
It also has to do with intent.
Mm-hmm.
What is your intention? Because you got to jump in there at some point. You do have to just jump in there. You know, people who coming out of the church who are just now like, I don't know, I don't want to go to hell. They still believe that, but something in them says, well, go check this out, or go look at this. You know, I'm gonna give you another case. I studied the tarot, and there are some Christian people that like, oh no, that's the devil, this, that, and the other. And I'm like, well, is not the tarot the study of universal laws? Is it not tied to Kabbalah. Like if I want an understanding, if my intention is to understand and learn, I'm not worried about whether somebody thinks it's evil, because I know it's a tool. It is a tool for learning. That is my intention. My intention is not to use it against anyone. My intention is to use it for my own evolution. So even if it's something that's not good in your view, if my intention is to keep going, I'm going to pass through this. This is something that I'm going to either learn to use it or learn that it's not for me. And what I ultimately learned is that I don't need it. I'm more advanced than it.
You are it.
And that's how a lot of preachers are. I mean, a lot of people, that's why a lot of people go to church or whatever, because they're attracted to what the preacher might have to say, but they're not willing to actually study their Bible or whatever, learn for themselves, to continue to grow, show themselves approved in a sense, so it's like they'll look at the tarot and all this other stuff, don't know nothing about it, only what they've been seeing or whatever, that's been painted negative of it, instead of them going out there saying, okay, let me put up this book and let me read it myself. Because that's what I did too. I picked it up and read it myself to, just be like, okay, I can't believe the BS that people are saying. Let me just look for myself to see what they're saying. So, to show, and it make a lot of sense. You know what I'm saying? When you're reading it, you know what I'm saying? You can apply a lot of this stuff to yourself, you know what I'm saying? And your journey in life, but if you're just going off of what somebody's told you, you'll think it's, that motherfucker's a devil worshiper or Satanist or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And, and like all about intent, Go ahead.
But if I may, Don, real quick, the tarot thing, I've studied tarot for a good part of 15 years. And, that's a natural progression of going into their cult, you know what I mean? And I've studied their cult for 20 plus. So personally, I have no issue with the tarot. However, the only issue I have with it is once a person learns what the tarot is and they reach that precipice, that higher, that plateau, so to speak, people, the issue I have is people don't grow past it. They are stuck using that as a tool and not going above and beyond and learning that these individual cards are nothing but reflections of you. Right. You are the magician. You are the great mage. You are the fool. You are the great major and minor arcana. You know what I'm saying? The cups and the wands and all that, those are just little spells and stuff like that. When you add them, they add to the major and minor arcana. You know what I'm saying? Give clarity to
it's the knowledge of the human psyche and your soul,
Bingo.
But it's like, again, people want to, they won't, to me, it's about your intention. If your intention going into it is, I know that I'm going to see what this is about, I don't need to be afraid to just look at something. I see it the same way with people on the Trump tip. They won't even listen to him. They won't even look at what he's doing or has done. They're just, oh, he's evil, he's racist, he's da-da-da-da-da.
Great.
Don't
great
even go there with Trump, And it's like, how much have you just cut yourself off from what's really going on in the world just because you won't look at something?
Bingo. Great parallel. This great freaking parallel. I can't say that enough. Great fucking parallel. People get scared to get into some things with the intention of learning. You know what I mean? Learning and then mastering.
And then mastering. There you go.
Learning and then mastering. We just learn shit. We skim through it. We become what they call that? Jack of all trades, but master of none. We dabble in a little bit of this. We dabble in a little bit of that, but we don't have any grander understanding of things. That's why we always lag behind things, because we don't get the full game. And that's by design, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
That's by design. There's a lot of these things that are hidden. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do they say? What's the stereotype? You put it in a book, we ain't gonna read it, right?
Bingo.
Right.
But us here, I'm pretty sure we have knowledge, a plethora of knowledge amongst us here on this panel, as far as books, as far as reading occult books, as far as reading whatever. Oliver has a library over in his house. You know what I'm saying? Wilhelmina, she has that damn internet on lock amongst her father's books. You know what I'm saying? Me, myself, I have a whole 2 or 3 suitcases full of books. Some that I've lost, books that I'm having in different languages that really gives you real. You know what I'm saying? I stress to everybody, if you can get a occult book in another language and start deciphering it, the language, man, the United States censor a lot of shit, man. They censor a lot of stuff. There's books I've had in French. I don't even speak French fluently like that. You know what I'm saying? But I've learned to decode and decipher a lot of different shit out of those international books because they don't have the same censorship that we have here stateside. And I will be the first to tell you, man, a lot of that shit people are not ready for. Are you ready for walking? You know what I'm saying? One of the books is telling you to walk in a crossroads, right? At midnight, butt booty ass naked.
So you won't be lonely.
You know what I'm saying? How you gonna go? Like, how are you gonna go in a big metropolitan city at a crosswalk, butt booty ass naked to perform this ritual?
Hey,
And in the ritual, there's things that you're supposed to do that are kind of like, what the fuck? I'm not doing that shit. But if you want to ascertain that kind of shit, that's the things that you have to subject yourself to. And I yield back. I mean,
Booty,
there
booty,
y'all go.
rocking everywhere. Oh, sorry, my bad.
You know what I mean?
Got it.
Y'all there with me? So
Yeah.
I'll just say this, and I'm gonna leave it alone too. It just came to mind, you know, concerning those books. A lot of these things are out of print. A lot of stuff that Bobby talked about in the 90s is out of print. You know what I mean? And there's necromancy, which is one of the powerful books. If you ever could come across that book, necromancy. You know what I'm saying? That is, you know what I'm saying? You dealing with entities on the other side of the veil. You know what I'm saying? Some are fallen ones, some are angels. You got to know who's who. You know, and you got to cross-reference a lot of these things. A lot of these angelic beings don't go by the name. They're not going to give you the name for you to call down upon them. This is higher sciences. You know what I mean? So when you're dealing with that kind of stuff, they'll throw a false name in there just to throw you off. You know what I'm saying? They won't give you that angelic being, that star. You know when they say, I wish upon a star? You know what I'm saying? We don't even know what stars really are.
Oh,
Mm.
oh,
If we let modern science tell it, they're just big balls of gas, right? Okay.
Come on, let me. I want to say it.
What you want to say?
See, I'm looking at y'all in the camera, right?
I'm gonna wait.
Okay.
I'm trying to wait. Let him finish.
I yield.
What is it that you wanted to add, Willa?
I just wanted to add the fact that building on what he just said, a lot of people do not even know what stars are. And I shit y'all not, today, a few hours before the show, of course, I had this realization that when it comes to people getting wrapped up about they favorite celebrities, Hollywood stars, movie stars, entertainers or whatever, musicians, whatever, I had the epiphany that, and I got this really from that show, His Dark Materials, by the way. It's on HBO. Great show. I recommend everybody watch it. In that show, they talk about dimensions in other worlds, where so far they're on season 2, and the main point of the show is they're trying to find different doorway portals to get to these other worlds that look just like ours, y'all. Like, but in the other world, it's a twin replica, but everything that they say and do is in reverse. So what they have in the story is this place called the Magisterium, which is to us would be the Roman Vatican, right? And what they are always talking about is set in Oxford, England, by the way. The school is called Jordan College, that they call the school's scholastic sanctuary. They always talking about it. And one of the main points of the show is everybody in this other world is different from ours. The main thing that they're scared of, they call dust. We would call it in our world dark matter. Anyway, I say all that to say that to them, they consider what we call dark matter, they call it dust, and they see it as what they call the original sin. And it's a sin to even talk about dust. It's a complete sin, right? Can't talk about it at all. Well, anyway, I was just thinking, just as YAHCHIDAH just said what he said about people, we don't really know what stars truly are. In translation to that, they don't really understand what dust is, and it's considered highly illegal to even wonder about it. And if they catch you, trying to study it, you get harsh punishment. Anyway, I just got to thinking earlier today about fans, ceiling fans, and then what the media calls us, the public, fans. Why do we do that? Oh, because I get it. In a way, what they're saying, if I'm relating it to this show again, they're saying that dust is the original sin. So for us, that would be what? Vanity. Isn't that sin? It's vanity. So if they're afraid of dust, then that would make us equal in our dimension world where we're at. That would mean that for us, should we be allergic to what they call fans? Because that's what they call us. Why do they call us fans though? Oh, because we are the ones that kicking up the dust. The illusion, we keep the illusion going. That's the whole point of a fan, right? To keep you cool in the summer, in spring and summer. So if that is what they consider illegal in their world, dust, that means that for us, worshiping in vanity is our original sin.
Mm-hmm.
And just seeing, all around with ceiling fans, even though for us, we think of a fan as something in your house. But no, the TV, the world inside of our TVs, when you say fan, it's talking about people.
Mm-hmm.
So that was just my thought.
Just to add on to that, my understanding is that each one of us is connected to a star. Yes. That you could actually physically look up and see. Not only are we made up of the same elements, yes, as the stars, we are a star that's out there. But yet, as you said, yes, what they've done is they've given us, they define for us who stars are, so that we look at other people here and say, well, that person's a star, as opposed to seeing myself as a star.
Yes.
Hey, I consider better myself. Thank you, Sister Dawn. Damn it. I gotta go get a drink.
You gotta go get a drink.
Shit.
But I before you go get that drink, I want you to define for us, YAHCHIDAH, because I know you know the definition of sin.
Ooh.
Ignorance of the law.
Yes. Get your drink, man. Go get your drink.
I
Why
got
you
it.
doing that
Ignorance.
though? Why you doing that though? Oh, you got it?
Ignorance of what? God's law.
God's law. God's law.
Can I go get my drink now?
Okay, you can. Okay, fine.
You come back
Go
with a
get your
tougher
drink.
question next time,
Oliver.
right?
Drink. Oliver here, he gonna hold
You
us down.
go, Oliver. What's the definition of a sin? Do you have a different definition? Can you
Well, sin, number one, is derived from the Hebrew word shin, SCHIN, meaning to fall short on knowledge, to be ignorant.
Ooh.
Never was
There you
about
go.
right or wrong.
Mm.
Reference point, you can look that up in God, Man, Word Made Flesh.
Ooh.
Still in print to this day.
God, man, made flesh.
Word Made Flesh.
Okay, word made flesh. Thank you.
That's why the prophet even say that we're not man. I forgot exactly what it said about, but we're not we don't believe that man is born in sin. It's like man is born with unlimited capabilities, you know what I'm saying? Like unlimited capabilities. So it's like as long as you're learning and not living backwards.
Yeah.
Or living.
Yeah, and to interject on that, what Dawood just said about that, that reminds me right there of the scene from The Dark Knight, the Christopher Nolan, where Alfred, played by Michael Caine, told Bruce Wayne, Batman, played by Christian Bale, when you seen the part where he was taking off his shirt. We all know about them scars and bruises on the back of him.
Yeah.
And Alfred reminded him, look, Batman has his limits, Master Bruce. Because, Bruce Wayne, the story, like, he dedicated his whole life to knowing all forms of knowledge, no matter how obscure it sounds, and conditioned his entire, not only his mind, but his body and stuff like that, to being basically limitless, to having no limits. But Alfred had to remind him, Batman has his limits.
Would you say that's the same as Thor's father, Odin, who they call Wednesday? In American God, that show is kind of like that. He said that he hung himself on a tree for 3 days to gain knowledge.
Basically same thing.
Whoa. I'm not going to let you just say that and not give it context.
Me?
Yes.
You talking about a person
Oh,
that predate Jesus, that hung themselves on a tree to gain knowledge.
Yo,
We just gonna gloss over that?
I didn't even think of Odin that Wednesday. They call him in the show, but his name is Odin. I didn't even grasp that.
But as for Sister Dawn, though, like that the definition of sin, that's where it derives from, the Hebrew word shin, SCHIN. Fall short of knowledge, to be ignorant. That book I got to order another one. God, Man, Word Made Flesh.
Yes.
Yeah.
That book made one of our brothers like check out, bro.
Yeah.
Remember that brother from the show?
Yeah. Tell me about it. That and Unto Thee I Grant is another one.
Oh. With the
had a reaction.
I believe the prophet grafted some of his stuff from that book.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
That's a powerful book as well.
Yeah, they're both very powerful books and both very reasonable. Speaking of the prophet, I just want to go ahead and bring up something that really been disturbing me. After speaking with
one second, brother O.
Yeah.
1 second, brother O. Wilhelmina hit the horn.
Oh yeah. Okay. Hold up. Okay. Damn it.
For recording purposes, we're gonna hit the horn and then you kick off, brother.
Hold on. Where is it? All right.
Get your thoughts together, brother.